Have you ever faced a hacker in Bloons BTD battles? Unless you're a grinder or you've been playing for a very long time, chances are that you've never actually encountered a real hacker in arenas. Today the word hacker is mostly associated with modding rather than actual hacking. In fact, the modding community has been growing at a very fast rate, mostly due to the release of BTD 6. There are a few large Bloons channels such as Trippy or Tewtiy who mostly upload modding videos and get millions of views in return. But this video is not about modding, it's about every single real hacker I faced during my 5 years of playing this game, of course excluding the ones I battled in private matches. Out of approximately 6,000 games I've played so far, I only have proof of battling a total of 5 different hackers, which is an incredibly low number. But there's reason for this. In update 3.3, a report button was added to the game, which made it easy for Ninja Kiwi to filter out hackers and, I quote, take necessary action to improve the service for all players. Now, nobody knows if this button actually works, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Anyway, as most of you guys know, if you modify files or hack the game and then try to play an online match, you'll instantly get thrown into the so-called hacker pool. Once you're in the hacker pool, it's pretty much like having been banned, because you'll only be able to play other hackers. It's literally impossible to leave this pool unless Ninja Kiwi manually removes you from it. And the easiest way to find out if your account is flagged is to check the leaderboards, which should say no data found. So, long story short, it's really hard for hackers to stay undetected. But every now and then, you get lucky enough to face one in arenas, and today I present you 5 times I faced a hacker in Bloons Tower Defense battles. Okay, so on my number 5 spot, I have my very first hacker video that I uploaded on this channel back in 2015. I'm not going to go too much into detail on this one because it's only a profile hacker. I really wanted to include this one to my list because back when I recorded this, these types of hackers were a completely new thing. By the way, I apologize for the awful quality on this clip. So yeah, I'd never seen anything of the sort before, and I kind of remember my reaction when I initially saw all those medallions in games. But yeah, today profile hackers are literally everywhere, since the game doesn't even recognize them as actual hackers. As my number 4 spot, I have some BTD Battles Flash games I played in 2016. At first glance it seems absolutely crazy. I mean, how often do you see your opponent place a boat on land? It might even remind you of Mold's famous "he's hacking" video. But guess what, the first guy isn't actually hacking. For some reason my account was falsely put into the hacker pool, and every time I tried to play friends in a private match, I'd randomly get matched up with someone, which is just hilarious to me. I could literally choose the map I wanted to play on, whereas my opponent couldn't, and so he accused me of hacking, as you can see in the chat. It seems like this guy was playing on A game, but on his screen he's actually playing on some sort of water map, so you could probably find out on which map he's playing by just matching the tower placements. But in the next clip I finally face a real hacker. I mean, just look at him getting up Super Monkey fan clubs in round 2, that's just awesome. I do end up beating him since he randomly lagged out, which is pretty funny. Don't know why he never ended up rushing me, but yeah, we beat a hacker, I guess. Okay, next up I have an innocent looking guy called Bob. His win rate was pretty outstanding and I was a little suspicious, so I did start recording just in case. I was quite convinced that this guy was just a really solid player. He started off with a ninja on a super weird spot at the end of the map, and I was quite confused. But just 32 seconds in, he started spamming cobras and getting them up to offensive push to send me some group pinks, which I was able to defend quite easily thanks to my bomb. But then came the whites, and without a boost there's literally nothing I can do. Had I put my bomb further up and gone for a 3-2 cluster bomb instead of a triple dart, then I would have definitely defended most pinks and could have saved my boost to pop those whites, but eventually I was gonna lose either way. Luckily I faced the same hacker a few minutes later. This time I was trying to figure out a strategy that could defend group Bloons more easily than the bomb tower. The first thing I thought of was the boomerang. The glaive ricochet upgrade does a phenomenal job against stacked Bloons, but there was one thing that I didn't know. As soon as a glaive hits a camo bloon, it just disappears, and so I miserably died to pinks. Today, after a bit of testing, I found a way to properly defend round 4 boosted group pinks. The answer is tag shooter. Getting up 2 blade shooters is more than enough to defend the initial rush, since you have to keep in mind that I do have 3 sets of road spikes. The cost of these 2 towers is slightly less than $3,000, which is the amount I had saved up at the time he rushed me. And with my boost, it's actually possible to defend group whites for about 15 seconds, as you can clearly see in this clip. The only problem is that back then the tag shooter hadn't yet received the buffs it did a few months ago. But just in case you do end up facing this guy, you know what to do. Now there's a slight chance you've seen this video before, since it currently sits at over 8,000 views. I actually encountered this hacker on 2 separate occasions. First on the regional leaderboard, where you can see his insane 99% win-loss ratio and 924 win streak, and also a day later when I actually faced him in Ceramic Crucible. This guy didn't even bother to upgrade his cobras to offensive push. No, he just went all in and sent me a bunch of round 2 group rainbows. He was definitely grinding for a top 10 badge and would have succeeded if he hadn't gotten banned just 2 days after this video was published back in 2016. That is definitely the best non-modded record to this day. And finally, the long-awaited hacker I managed to outsmart not once but twice. Just by looking at his win rate, the least I would have expected is him being a hacker. I mean, 82% is awful considering you literally hacked the game to win. Anyway, the first game was on Snowy Castle again, and this guy doesn't hesitate. He instantly goes for his Glaive Lord on round 1. Also, I apologize for these cringy edits here, I thought that was funny back then. But yeah, as you can see, he takes his rush to another level and sends me some round 3 Moabs. Yeah, so I didn't bother rematching him since I couldn't see a way of me actually beating him. But luckily for me, I faced him again the next game, and all of a sudden, as you can see in this clip right now, he starts losing lives like out of nowhere. So I thought to myself, why not stall a little and wait for him to maybe run out of lives completely? And it actually worked. He somehow died on round 3 just by himself. And so I decided to rematch this guy and do the exact same thing next game. And guess what? It worked out. Again. It got pretty close, not gonna lie, but a win is a win, right? Now at this point, I think he figured out what I was doing. I did get quite lucky since we ended up playing on Racetrack, which is another very long map. And I was certain that I could stall long enough to make him lag out again. By the way, I have no clue why he didn't go for a temple on this one. I mean, he literally had it in his loadout, and that could have made for some crazy clickbait. But yeah, surprisingly, it looks like this hacker learned from his mistakes, and he sent me Moabs on round 2 this time, not on round 3, on round 2. Still yeah, I did accept my defeat here, but I thought it was very funny nonetheless. Okay, thanks for watching, hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, it really helps. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I'll be uploading a community commentary every 2 weeks, so make sure to also turn on those notifications. In my recent one, I talk about the micro challenge world record progression, so if you're interested, just click on it right now. Oh, and if you want to support this channel, you can become a member by clicking on this join button. You will have early access to my future videos and get shoutouts after each and every single one of them. Just imagine your name being shown to thousands of people. Oh, and you'll also be able to use these awesome custom emojis in the comments and in the livestream chat. Anyway, thank you and have a great day.